time to finally change these tires. They've been, the wear isn't too terrible bad, but man, they are weather checked and dry rot real bad. And I've just been waiting to wear them out essentially. And finally, we've got all this nastiness around here is the beet pulp that we have in them for ballast. Finally, one of these weather cracks has pinched the tube, and now we're leaking out all of our beet juice. So I'm going to pull these things off, both the front ones, and get them loaded onto the back of the truck, take them into town. Our local guys there have got these tires in stock, so we'll get them unbolted enough. I'm just using the loader as the jack, so you can see I'm already off the ground. So, and I'll throw a couple jack stands under the front of this afterwards so that it won't settle too far. But I'm going to have to use the excavator to lift these things because these center dishes on these wheels on this particular set probably weigh about 95 pounds, and then the tires with the beet juice, it wouldn't surprise me to see if each of these tires is somewhere around 300 to 500 pounds each. So I'll get them off, we'll roll them out here and lift them onto the back of the truck with the excavator and take them into town. But it's nice to have good space to work on them. I didn't want to bring it up on the concrete because I didn't want all this beet juice staining my brand new concrete. Figured it could go a year before we start staining it. Well, maybe it's only 200 pounds. It's plenty heavy anyway.
When I was a teenager, I used to open up my car door like that too on one of those cars.
You had one of those cars?
I had one of those cars where you have to open it from the outside.
No, I've got one of those.
I think it was an Oldsmobile 1998. Remember those? Is that what they were called?
98?
Yeah, 98.
Boat car?
It was a boat car, yeah. 88. Oh, okay. See,
88.
yeah.
Weighs as much as a cargo ship.
Yes.
We're day 2 of this winter storm warning. We've got about 5 to 6 inches so far. Still kind of coming. And it's supposed to keep coming all night tonight and into tomorrow. Most of the day tomorrow, if not all day. Got the new tires picked up. And they pretty heavy just because they're full of beet juice fluid for weight and traction. But we'll get them bolted on here and then probably have to go and plow just our roads here. A lot of our road, because we're so steep up here, a lot of our roads are 10% grade or better. So if the snowpack builds up on there, it kind of creates an ice layer and it's slippery trying to get up and down. The main road doesn't have the steepness, so it's a little easier to manage. We'll probably wait till the storm finishes before we mess with the main road. We've all got four-wheel drive and high clearance vehicles, so if the snow gets up to 8 or 10 or 12 inches deep, it won't be that big of a deal for us getting in and out. And for that road, if it's got a little bit of a snowpack layer built up, it actually makes it plow easier and everything just goes so much smoother on all of us. So we'll let that one ride. Get this thing hooked up and we'll get at least some of the areas up here where it's drifting and piling up kind of cleared out. Well, we are just about done with this storm. It's afternoon. It's supposed to be done by about midnight or something. It's been a couple of days of storm, and it's just been slow and steady, consistent. There's about 15 or 18 inches of snow out on the roads. Ola had to work this morning, and she was able to get out because she was driving downhill. So we had the tractor in last night to thaw. I'm going to put the chains on it today, get it ready to go so that I can get out there and start clearing that snow. Guess there's no avoiding it now. We're ready. No more excuses. Time to get out there and get doing it.
In the town on the hill where the apples grow, and the church bells ring every hour or so, I took a little walk just to see what ship's coming in. The sun rose up right above the highway, black, blue, red, yellow, golden skyway. It's like the day that you jump into the wind. I can't go back down to that water again. These old muddy shoes keep on walking the streets. Someone's bride buying Egyptian sheets. Display of some little store in town. And there's my reflection against the morning light. Hello, Mr. Ghost, Mr. Skeleton White. You better comb your hair, you better wipe that George Clay off your brow. You better stand up straight, man. These people hardly recognize you now. Lord, carry me like a sailing ship. Comfort me before I slip around the dark side of the moon. All this spinning around hurts my head. I just sit here lonesome for you. There's a million things I would rather do instead. I know it takes a lot to change a worried mind, and I know it takes a year to see a warm summertime. But I'm made of nails, man, made of tombstone and tall, tall trees. Tombstone fades and the nails will rust. Tall oak trees, they all turn to dust. A little every day, it's so slow you can't even see. I guess I'll try to find another thing to be. Lord, carry me like a sailing ship. Comfort me before I slip around the dark side of the moon. All this spinning around hurts my head. I just sit here lonesome for you. There's a million things I would rather do instead. I just sit here lonesome for you. There's a million things I would rather do instead.
Okay, I finished my roads, the driveway and all the approach and everything there. Now we're gonna go out and hit a pass up and down on the main road out there. That way we've got a good pass, good drivable lane for school bus in the morning and anybody that needs to come in or out tonight. It's supposed to keep snowing all night tonight, sometime into the morning. So I don't really want to bother spending hours and hours trying to get it all cleaned back out, especially if it's supposed to put another 4 or 5 inches on. Just going to make sure we've got a good drivable lane up and down. And then tomorrow when it's clear and it's no longer putting more snow down, then we can go and open things up and push the snow out farther and make sure everything's cleared up and really open.
There's dinner in the yard, out behind the cars. Tonight we're gonna do something different. I will make the things that I know how to make. You will make something more delicious. A sweet potato pie, no flimsy paper plate. Baby, I don't think it gets much better. There isn't much to keep. We lay down and fall asleep till the morning comes around to find love. I still keep with me these little memories. The ones that stick around are the most bittersweet. I know it's getting late. The night is full of such mistakes. I was hoping that you might want to talk to me. Card table outside, still sitting there. It's been so long, it barely holds together. You can't really say what's coming tomorrow. You can only feel the changing weather. One day I'll not call if you were there at all. Maybe it was something like a dream. There isn't much to keep. Tonight I hope I fall asleep till the morning comes around to find me. Oh, I still keep with me these little memories. The ones that stick around are the most bittersweet. I know it's getting late. The night is full of such mistakes. But I was hoping that you might want to talk to me.
Well, we let it ride overnight and figured if I needed to do a little bit of plowing cleanup this morning, I could and make sure it was good, but you can see that all we had last night was rain. It was raining on me as I finished up plowing. Decided it was good enough for the night, so got back up to the shop and put everything away, it warmed up. And it just kept raining all night. It stayed warm and still warm this morning, mid-30s, high mid-30s. So everything's melting back off. Not nearly as fast, but concrete's practically dry. Everything that was plowed is left with slush. Everything that wasn't plowed has settled into about 6.5 inches from the 15 that it was yesterday as I was plowing. So I guess before it gets cold tonight and refreezes and all these deep 4 or 5 inch deep sections of slush turn into solid sheets of ice, I'm going to take a minute with the tractor and go see if any of that needs to get the heck off the road. Save ourselves having ice to deal with for days. I don't want to lose all my gravel off the hill, and I definitely don't want to have 4-inch solid sheet of ice here to deal with coming into the next storm, or have to deal with that for the rest of the winter. So what I've done is I've set my blade to back blade rather than a forward cut. I'll show you what I mean by that, but essentially I've got the blade facing backwards so that as I blade, I'm not using the cutting edge, I'm using the swept back edge of the blade. I don't want to peel the gravel off, I just want to move the loose slush off the top. And that'll do that and help keep the gravel there. So it works pretty good. It works out pretty good. Putting it a little bit steeper because I'm going to go uphill and I have more resistance that way. This will shoot it off the blade a lot faster and get it moving to the side. I won't clear as far, but I'll get it moved again, and then I can make my final pass down. Okay, last pass, and this should do it. Going downhill again, so. The other side. But I'm also going. I'm going to offset my blade. Put it over here. And get a pretty cheap angle. That's it. With it set like that, I got about 3 feet, 2.5 to 3 feet to the side of my tractor on the outside of the wheel. That's going to let me run right down that berm that we just created with the tires so that I'm fully on the road with all the good, solid traction. And the blade can go pushing to the full edge of the road and pushing it off the edge. Normally I wouldn't go quite this steep, even if I was plowing regularly, because what ends up happening is all the weight sits here, and that's off center of the tractor, so then I would end up kicking my rear end out sideways, and the tractor's just not heavy enough for the amount of snow that can build up in front of this blade, especially when it's wet and heavy. Because it's mostly slush, it's coming off of there so fluid that there's no weight really building up on the blade, so I've got a lot of leverage to really zing it out there and get it off the shoulder of the road. So that's why I'm putting it all the way to the edge. I want to stay on the road, I don't want to be anywhere near the edge. I want that blade to hang out there and get its weight off. Even with those efforts, sometimes it'll want to pull me off, so I've got to be careful. I've just started to pull my front tire down into the shoulder where it was soft, so I had to stop and back up careful so I didn't slide into it. right, that's it. I'm not gonna mess with it any more than that. I don't want to churn it up into a mud soup. But it was all collected, all that moisture is captured in that slush. And it would just sit here and be really slow moving. This has got most of the slush out of the way and created channels for the water to get away and get out of the snow and melt off and run. And that's going to keep me from having big old sheets of ice in front of all this stuff. I think we've got 2 or 3 days to the next storm. Surprising how quickly this is melting off, and we're supposed to have, I don't know, somewhere in the low 40s tomorrow and the next day, and no overcast. So if that's the case, I think we're going to be down to bare gravel tomorrow, and on anything that was not plowed, it's probably going to quickly make its way down to open roads. So it's funny how 15 inches of snow can turn into inches of water real fast.